For tonight, there we go. Yes, good job. For tonight, we are going to be doing our animal signs. We have this one, and then our next class next week, I'm just going to say it now so I don't forget. Next class is going to be types of like jobs, different, honestly, it's a whole hodgepodge of things. So like jobs, objects, some just basic words that you probably would use most.
I think we did things like places, like doctor's office and things like that.
Yeah, because I was looking at it all and I was like, it's a whole hodgepodge of just things put together. So that's kind of our last little list. So let me go back to the top. Why is it so dark? There we go. Where's the top of the animals? All right, perfect. Okay, so the first sign we're gonna learn, let me see if I can angle myself just a little better. There we go. So the first sign we're gonna do is the sign for, oh, we lost someone. I bet they're in the car. Is animals. So the sign for animal itself is it's gonna be, remember we did our have. So it's like you have like kind of those bent hands, you're gonna put them above your armpit. So you're not going in them, they're above. And then what you're going to do is you're going to flap your wings. So animals. So this is animals. Then our first animal we have is a cat. Yeah. And the cat sign is going to be cat. So it's your pointer finger and your thumb. And you have your other three fingers sticking up like the whiskers. Cat. Yeah. Cat. The next one we have is dog. So the way dog's going to go is it's the same sign, but some people change it up a little bit. I don't know what is going on with my laptop. It keeps dimming and brightening. And I'm like, stay in your spot, please. So see if it'll do that. So what usually it is you're going to pat your leg and end in a snap. And that's dog. There's another one that's doing the same. So what it is it's dog. So it's your middle finger bouncing on your thumb, dog. This one's also, I see other people using now too. So you have the dog with a snap and then dog. Then we have fish. So fish is going to be, you're going to make it kind of a side open B, and then you're going to put your pointer finger at the bottom and you bounce it back and forth. Fish. So it's like the movement of a fish. Sometimes you don't have to use your pointer finger. You can just go straight ahead. I typically do that just to kind of emphasize again that I'm talking about a fish. But either way works. The next one is bird. So the sign for bird, which is also the sign for chicken, is going to be bird. It's your pointer finger. It's like it's like the 20, the sign for 20, but on your face, on your nose, bird. And like I said, this one's also for chicken. I'm trying to remember if we went through this when we were talking food wise, but I'm going to go over it just a little again. If you're trying to distinguish, like you had chicken versus I had like quail or something like that, what I would recommend doing is you would do the motion for bird and then finger spell like quail. And the reason for that is because if you said, oh, I ate this, like you said, I ate this, they're going to assume you mean chicken. Because most of the time that is what most people typically eat. When they think of birds, you think of chicken birds, like I eat chicken. So that's just kind of like a thing I like to just always say is that if you're ever talking about a bird, like one of those random ones, I only know of quail. Duck has its own sign, which we'll get to later. But I think there's only, I think that's, I mean, I could be wrong. I don't eat a lot of other birds. I just eat chicken. Like I'm very basic. I don't go to quail and all that. I'm like, I stay at my chicken. So but like any other fancy ones, you would finger spell. All right, this is our last one, and then we're going to go through those 5. The next one is eagle. So eagle is going to be the same motion, except now it's an X on your nose. Eagle. Eagle. And this one, I think really you can make it, it makes sense. The beak and the curl. Yes, eagle. If you need to leave and come back or something, that's fine too. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to close this real quick. There we go. Okay. So let's go back to our sign for animals. And it's animal or animals. I'll add this, I think. Have we talked about how you would identify like singular versus plural? Okay. So typically when you're doing stuff like you're talking about, oh yeah, like my favorite animal, or I have a lot, like I have 3 different animals. Usually we have that S that we add at the end of our English word to show that we're talking about multiples. In ASL, you don't have, it's not like it makes it a different sign. So if you're talking about animal or animals, it's the same thing. The reason for that is because a lot of context clues will help you kind of guide where you're going. So like, for example, if you're talking about, oh, I have 3 animals at home. Well, if you said, well, I have 3 animals, the assumption it like it's not, it's like it makes that connection. You're not going to talk about just one animal if you're talking about, like if you said 3, because you put that 3 there, that already knows that they're talking about multiples or many. When you're talking about like just an animal, like I have 1 animal, that sort of thing, it's just that number will show it. And like 9 times out of 10, when you're talking about them in like broad discussion, it's not always like you have to have it be one specific, like it has to show, I have to show you it means 1 animal, or I have to show you it means multiple. Because I'll be like, oh yeah, well there's different animals, different da 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 da. It's kind of assumed already. I don't have to emphasize that one. Okay, so then we went to cat, which was cat. Cat. I always think of the whiskers, all them little whiskers on their face. Then we have fish, 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 fish. Then we have bird, bird, or chicken. Same one. Bird. And then our last one, eagle, eagle. Eagle. Okay, so, oh yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. I added it up because it's usually on later on my list, and I always think it's really silly that I don't have dog up top. So like that's why I skipped over it, because it's not on the list except later down. Yes, dog or dog. It's going to be your ring finger and your pinky stay down. It's just going to be your middle finger and your thumb, and they bounce back and forth. Yeah, dog. It's that motion. It's almost making the motion of like when you snap your finger, that kind of motion, but it's bouncing back. Okay, so now our next one we have is snake. So for snake, what you're going to do, I know, trust me, is you'll have the V with the 2 X's. You're going to start at the base of like your mouth, and then you're going to go snake. So like a slithering motion. Snake. That one's always a fun one to do in front of kids, especially if you're like, oh, look, there's a snake. And I'm like, there's a snake. And they're like, ah. They don't like snakes, except my one little boy. He liked them. But he's our only one. We had 4 other girls who were like, oh, no way, Jose, are we going near snakes? We took him to the zoo. That's why we were seeing snakes. And it was very funny. I loved it. All right. The next one is rat / like mouse. And it's going to go rat. You just brush your pointer finger over your nose. Rat. Now, if you're talking about like Mickey Mouse, I wouldn't go Mickey rat. Mickey Mouse is Mickey Mouse with the little ears. Yeah. Or like Disney World, that kind of thing. It'd be like here. I just always think about that. I think someone's asked me before, like, would you do that? And I was like, no, because Mickey's a character. He's not really a rat. It gets complicated, but yeah, he's got his own thing. So the next one is lizard. So what you're going to do for lizards, you're going to have your non-dominant arm sideways. Dominant's going to be in that L shape. And then you're going to put it on top, and you're going to like wiggle. Like I'm going to turn mine so it looks like what you would look like above. And it's like the motion of a lizard climbing your arm. Yeah. And you just kind of bounce it. Let me see if I can get closer. Bouncing it. Yeah. So lizard. Lizard. Then let's see this. Okay. Then the next one is bug. So bug is going to be a 3. Your thumb's going to go on your nose, and then you're going to bounce them. Bug. And so this is like the generalized term for bug. Most of the time I see that. I don't always see as, like, for example, if you're talking about like ants or mosquitoes and what are some other ones I'm trying to think of? Those different kinds, like cockroaches, all of those. Most of the time it's just the generalized bug. And if you happen to be super specific, I finger spell. There's a few of them that have signs out there. But when I talk to a couple of like staff members, that my coworkers, some of them are like, oh, those are a little more English. They're not really ASL, or they kind of flip flop back and forth. So I typically just go with the basic bug. Then we have spider. So spider does have its own I know we're getting into all the gross ones, but then there's all the fun ones afterwards. So spider is going to be, you're going to have your hands on top of each other and wiggle your fingers. Spider. I don't know. I think this one's always a cute one because like, it's just like the little spider legs. Spider. I'm not a spider person though. Like if I saw a spider, I'm like, your space, my space, we're not going to ever coexist. You just stay over there. But I do think this one's a fun one. Okay. So let's go back to our snake. We had snake. Think of the forked tongue and then it's slithering. Snake. Then we had rat. We also had our little Mickey Mouse Disney. Then we had lizard. Then we had bug. And then spider. The nice thing with some of these animal signs, I will say, is that they are so visual, like they make sense. You know what I mean? Like that was one of the things I always like. There's some signs that are just so opposite of what they are that my brain is like, that really is a hard one to connect. But I feel like a lot of the animal ones is like, oh, that makes sense. Yes, of course it would be that way. That's a lot of those kind of connections. Okay. The next one we have is turtle. So this one I actually was having a discussion with a couple of students near the end of the year, because there are 2 different ways you can do turtle. And I was trying to be like, well, what's the difference? So there's actually one for sea turtle and then one for just like a turtle, like tortoise sort of thing. And so I'm going to show you both of them. Now I've seen both being used just for the word turtle in itself, like not always talking about a sea turtle, but I'm going to just show you both of them. So the first one is you're going to have your dominant hand, a thumbs up. Non-dominant is going to come behind and it's going to cup it. So it's like your pinky side is going to come like, so here's your thumb. Come at it with like your pinky end and you're going to put it on the back. You want your thumb kind of at the tip. There you go. Yes, there we go. I know. Okay, wait. So put your, all right, let's try this. All right, so we got our thumb. We have our non-dominant hand. We're going to put it over. Yes, there we go. Wait, no, put it behind your thumb. Julie, put it like you're going to go. Wait. So we have our thumb. We have our non-dominant. You're going to slide it behind. There you go. Yes. Okay, there we go. Okay, perfect. So to help with this one, this is the turtle shell. And then you have your little turtle. Yes, there we go. Palm to palm. So there's our little turtle with this little head peeking out. I think this one's such a cute little one. I have way too much fun with that one. Okay, then the next one is, there we go. Is the next turtle one. This one's a lot easier. Is you just put your hands on top like this, and then you move your arms out. And it makes the motion of like being a sea turtle when they're like moving their arms in the water. Turtle or sea turtle. Like that one's much easier. I can do that one. Yeah. The next one is tiger. So the sign for tiger is going to be, you're going to have like these open hands and you just go tiger, tiger. And it's like the stripes across the face. Tiger. Tiger. I have a lot of fun. As you can tell, I have a lot of fun with the animal ones. The next one is lion. And so lion is going to be that same kind of open. It's like an open C, but your fingers, and you're going to bounce it on top of your head and just kind of shake as you go. And this is just acknowledging like the mane of it. Lion. Then the next one, let me see how many was that? Okay, no, we're good. The next one is bear. So bear is going to be bear. And it's like, I'm like brushing my fingers and pulling back. Yeah. It's like, I'm actually doing like a whole bouncing. Yeah. Bear. Then we have cow. So cow is going to be, now there's technically two ways. Really, it's the same way, just one has two hands, one has one hand. So you're going to have these two Y's. You're going to put them on top of the side of your forehead and you go cow. 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 So what a lot of people will do is just do cow. They'll do that one hand, cow. Cow. Then we have horse, and I think, yeah, that will be our next, and then we'll review. So then horse, the way you're going to do horse is like, we have our three, the two fingers are together, your thumb is going to go on the side and you go horse. Horse, like the ears. Yeah. Two, sorry, I'm used to doing one. I always do one, and I should do probably two, but you can do two or one. Horse or horse. All right. Let's go back through to our turtle. So our first awkward turtle, yeah, there's our, she's like, it's only this one. I don't know what that one you were saying earlier is. That's not turtle. So turtle, yeah. So we had our first turtle, yeah, turtle. And then we had our other turtle, like our sea turtle. This one is just, I think it's supposed to go lower. I don't know. This one feels so strange to me. Like my thumb is like, what are you doing? Turtle. Then we had tiger. 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 Then lion. 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 Then bear. Bear. Then cow. Cow or cow. I get too dramatic. I go full on moo. Like I mean, every time I do cow, like in my head, I hear moo, like every time. Then horse, horse, or horse. Now, for example, for when you're talking about bears, if you're trying to be specific on what kind of bear, like grizzly bear, things like that, that also, well, really goes for any animal. The more specific you go, the more you have to finger spell. There's not really different signs of different bear signs. Like for example, we'll do bears just because it's an easier one because we just did it. So if you're talking about a grizzly bear versus like a polar bear, there's not like a whole different sign that you would use for grizzly versus a whole different sign you would use for polar. You would still use the sign for bear. What you can use to help identify those marks, you could finger spell grizzly. For polar bear, you can actually be like, well, white bear, like, you know, it's a white bear. And then you could add that polar if you needed to, but you know, most of the time when you're talking about a white bear, you're talking about a polar bear. That's typically what you see. And adding colors like that helps, like with your basic identification details before you have to go full finger spelling. That's the same way for like dogs as well, which is always so hard because I'm a dog person and I have two dogs and I love telling different people, oh yeah, I have a Jack Russell Terrier mixed with possibly a Chihuahua, and having to finger spell all of those. It's always fun when I get to Chihuahua because I usually go CHAU and I just start bouncing. I just go that word because I can never spell it right. So, yeah, unfortunately, there's not an identified like sign for each one. I just want to add that there now because usually people will ask me, because afterwards, when we have time, I'll ask if there's more sign, like more animals you can think of. And a lot of times people ask me like specific animals. I'm like, same sign for all. So, all right, for our next 5, our next one is monkey. So the sign for monkey is monkey. It's what we do when we pretend we're monkeys. When we're like, when we're little, we're like, whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, it's the same one, monkey. Then we have giraffe. So giraffe is going to be that big open C. You're going to start at kind of like the base of your neck and you kind of tilt your head up and you're going to go giraffe. And you go like past your chin. Yeah, giraffe. And that's to make that motion of that really long neck. Giraffe. Giraffe. Then we have elephant. So for elephant, you're going to start kind of like with the back of your hand on your nose, and you're going to go elephant. Elephant. It's like it's making the whole trunk. Elephant. Then we have turkey. So turkey is going to be turkey. It's like a little cute pinching your chin. Turkey. Turkey. It's a little, Miss Katie, I think you know the name of it. I can never remember. The little part of the.
Isn't it called a waddle?
I think that's what it is.
I was starting to say a gobble, but I think it's a waddle.
Gobbles are the sounds they make. I know that. Every time I say this one, I'm always like, for turkeys, the little hang, and I always go, the little thing that hangs down. And so Katie has to always be like, you mean that? And I'm like, yeah. So turkey or turkey. Sometimes they'll do this one. Turkey. Turkey, where it's like the back of your hand under your chin. Turkey. I've seen both turkey and turkey. I think this one they don't use, like they started to not use as often because it's like close to like curious, It looks like that. So turkey. All right, the next one I have is pig. So pig is going to be the back of your hand again. It's under your chin. And you're going to go pig. So all your fingers bend. Yeah, pig. Pig. Okay. So then the next one is zebra. So for zebra, you're going to go, let me sit up. Ow, I just kicked my foot. Sorry, I was trying to push myself up higher and I swung. You're going to go zebra. So it's like showing the stripes, zebra, zebra, zebra. Okay. Now let's go back up to monkey again. So we had our monkey. Then we had our giraffe. Then elephant. Then our turkey. Or turkey, but really probably this one's probably more accurate. Then pig. And then zebra. All right. So where did I go? Oh, I lost my place. There we go. So the next one is gorilla. So gorilla is going to be gorilla. So basically King Kong. Gorilla. Then we have frog. So frog is going to be very similar, as our pig, but now it's 2 fingers. And what you're going to do is you're going to flick them out. Frog. Frog. Then we have alligator. This is another simple one. Alligator. Our big hand motions that we always did as a kid for our alligators. The next one we have is duck. So duck is going to be, so you know how we had our chicken was 2? Duck is 2 fingers. Duck. Then we have rabbit. So rabbit's going to be, what you're going to do is you're going to, remember how we had our bear kind of crossed? You're going to have your thumbs together and with 2 fingers, you're going to bounce it. Rabbit. Rabbit. This one's always kind of a weird one to me. I don't know why this one doesn't, like this one just doesn't click to me. Okay, let's see. Yeah, well, so butterfly, that was our next one, is the whole hand. Yeah. So while this one, so butterfly's the whole hand, rabbit's got the 2 hands. Something's supposed to be, I think, yeah, the floppy ears. That's what I was thinking, is like something to do with like the ears. I've seen, there's another one I saw, but this one, I don't know if this one was actually signed, because it was, I feel like I've said, I know if I explained some of it, but like sometimes campers, golly, students will come to school with what's called home signs. And basically what they are is they're not always ASL, but they're just signs that they're used at their home, that like their home life, that people like, they think, oh, this is the sign for it. It happens a lot of times with kids who their parents may not know a lot of sign or are learning it, things like that. And so they'll come to school and they'll be like, well, yeah, the sign for a dog is, dog or something like that. And you're like, no, it's dog or dog. And they're like, no, it's not. Like, I've had arguments, like, and it's a losing battle. It's a losing battle. I just let their friends be like, no, it's this. And I'm like, thank you. But I remember seeing one for rabbit that was interesting. And I was like, that one actually kind of made sense. But I was like, I've not seen that one used before. So I was trying to remember that one. It's always interesting. All right, we'll do one. Well, we did butterfly, so we'll go back through again. Okay, so we had our gorilla, which was gorilla. And then we had our frog, which was frog. So where pig is like we're bouncing it in and out, frog's like you're flicking it out. So you're not bringing it in, you're flicking it out. Frog. Then we had alligator, which was alligator. Then we had duck, which was duck. Excuse me. And then we had rabbit. Rabbit. Ooh, excuse me. And then we had butterfly. Butterfly. Good. Okay. So now we're going to get a little bit into our water animals. I try to spread these out just a little bit so they're more connected, but it doesn't always work that way. So the first one we have is the sign for whale. So whale is going to be our non-dominant arm is a cross. Dominant arm is going to be in the shape of a Y. You're going to rest it kind of like on your bicep. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go whale. And it's like the smacking of the tail as they like swim. So, when they swim by and their tails just go, pop, that's the motion of it. Whale. Then the next one is, I'm sorry, I checked one off on accident. We'll leave it right there. It's fine. I have like a little checklist of them and I didn't mean to, but I clicked one. So it went to the very bottom. I was like, no, I need that back because we actually needed that one, but we're good. The next one is going to be dolphin. There's a few different ways you can do dolphin. I've seen these 2 main ones the most. So what you're going to do is you're going to have your arm out again like this. Dolphin is going to be, so you have it in that same motion we had for horse, and then you go dolphin. Now, the one that I've seen I typically use, and it's a slight difference, is your fingers are now crossed. And then you do the same motion for dolphin. Dolphin. All right. The next one is shark. So there are 2 ways to do shark. One of them, I always try to I like to fair warn everybody kind of ahead of time, because it's very easy to accidentally sign a different word when you sign it. And it's that not nice word when you sign it. So I just like to warn people. Usually, I tried to avoid using it, but as I've been around the school system and everywhere, they all use it. And I was like, okay, I guess we'll just use this. And I know what you mean. So the first one this is the one that's kind of is shark. So it's a B on top of your forehead, shark. I would just emphasize, go really up high. You don't want it close to your forehead. So yeah, shark. The other one is going to be, so we kind of do like our Spock with our non-dominant, and then we're going to take that same B and put it right in there. And you just leave it there. And so this is shark. So like shark, like you can move it, like wiggling it, but like shark. And it's like the dorsal fin cutting through the water. Shark. I do see this one a lot more, way more. So that's just, I like to always give everyone a heads up. Let's see, where's your next one? There we go. Penguin. So penguin is going to be, it's kind of hard to show because we're sitting, but basically your arms, let me see if I can back up. Your arms are going to be at your side and you're going to have your hands out like, so like this motion, but it's down. And then you waddle, penguin. Yeah. So think about how when we are doing like, when we are imitating a penguin, that's what it is. There we go. Okay. The next one is seal. Seal is going to be, what you're going to do is you're going to have your arms kind of crossed and you're going to have the back of your hands and they flip and hit each other. Yeah. Seal. Seal. Okay, I think that one was 5, I believe. Yes. Okay. So let's go back to our whale that we started with. So whale, like I said, so arm and our little Y, the end, and then the smacking of the tail. Whale. Whale. Then we had our dolphin, which was same motion, same arm here. Dolphin. You can cross your fingers or you can leave them straight. Either way works. Dolphin. Then we had shark. Shark. Or shark. Yeah, so it's like you put your, so we have our non-dominant has the Spock motion again. Your dominant has that B, and where your thumb is, you're just going to push that in. Yeah, there we go. Shark. The next one we had was penguin, which was penguin, the little arm sticking out. And then seal. Seal. All right, let's see what's our other groups going to be. Okay. So our next ones are going to be, the next one is kangaroo. So kangaroo is going to be kangaroo. Kangaroo. Then we have owl. Owl is going to be, you have 2 O's, owl. And they're, yeah, I know. I feel like that one's like a cute one that makes so much sense. So yeah, owl. Then the next one we have is moose. So moose is going to start here. And well, it stays here. Sorry, moose. Then the next one, deer. This is the one I was about to say. So deer is going to be the same thing, but you bounce it out. I might have those flipped. I won't lie. I will double check on that. I always get these two. Like, I feel like Katie can vouch that every time I'm always like, deer, moose, moose, deer. Like, I can't. I think this one might be moose because it's bigger, but also like the deer branches out more. I will double check on that, but I know they're here. Like if you said, oh, I saw a big deer or something like that, they're going to know you mean, like they know you mean a deer or a moose. So it's not going to be like a big thing where like, I have no idea what you're saying. There's just one that bounces and it gets me every time. Then the next one is wolf. So wolf, I'm going to turn myself sideways so you can see what I'm doing, but basically I'm going to have my hand, kind of open hand in front of my face, and I'm going to go wolf, wolf. And I'm doing it in front of my nose. So I pull it away, wolf, wolf. And it basically is talking about the long snout. Wolf. Wolf. The next one is going to be a fox. And so for fox, what you're going to do is you're going to have an F, and your nose is going to go right here. And then you bounce it back and forth. Fox. Fox. Okay, let's go back through those. So we had our kangaroo. Kangaroo. Then we had owl. Owl. Then our moose / deer. Moose, deer, which one they are, I will double check. And then wolf. 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 And then fox. Fox. Okay. So now we're down to our last 2, 4, 6, 7 words. All right. And then what we'll do is after that, I might teach you the phrase like my favorite animal. Which one is that one for? Deer. Okay, so I did have it right. Moose and deer. I should have not guessed myself. Man, it was going to drive me crazy. I was sitting there like, I know this. I signed this. Like, but I don't sign moose as often as I sign deer. So yes, I was right. So moose, deer, bouncing in the antlers. I kept sitting there thinking the antlers, I think because they branch. That's why. Oh, thank you for that. That was going to haunt me. I know the second we leave, I'd find it and I go, I was right. That's okay. All right. So as I was saying, what we'll do is we'll finish with our next 7. Then I'll teach you how to say like my favorite animal. And then after that, if you guys have any animals you can think of, we'll kind of add then. And then I think that'll be good. So the next one I have is raccoon. So what you're going to do for raccoon is you're going to have 2 like peace signs. You're going to have them in front of your eyes and then you go raccoon. So you like close them. Yeah, raccoon. Raccoon. Then we have goat. So goat's kind of a weird one. Bear with me while I explain it. So what you're going to do is you're going to have you're basically going to do that same flicky motion that we do for the hand, for the frog, but you're going to put it at you're going to put your thumb at your chin and flick it at your chin and forehead. Goat. And it's supposed to be the motion of like billy goats, like they're gruff and all that, you know, like the fur, the hair at the chin and the forehead. Yeah. Goat. But it's such a weird one to me. I'm not going to lie. Every time I'm like, I just feel like it looks like it would be insulting, like it's mean. I don't know why my brain sits there and thinks it, but I had one kid go, oh yeah, and I was like, what? Because I'd never seen goat before. It was so weird. It was a very weird moment. And then they were explaining what it was. And I was like, is this real? And I had to actually go ask another teacher. I didn't trust myself like at all. I was like, I don't know. You're a kid that I could see you also trying to pretend that with, but he was right. It's goat. And I was like, oh, well, my bad. So it's just one of those weird ones. All right. And the next one is sheep. So for sheep, you're going to have your non-dominant arm. I have mine up higher so you can see it, but usually it's like resting like kind of, you know, at our waist tip. And you're going to go goat with your scissors, like you're shearing. So it's like the back of your hand brushes on top. Yeah. Goat, sheep. All right. Then we have octopus. So I'm going to add another one with this because octopus and squid. Let's see. Can y'all still hear me? Oh, not this again. Let's see. All right, hold on. Are y'all still able to hear me? This is so silly. It's telling me my Zoom meeting's not ending, like it's freezing. And I have the whole circular motion of my mouse that's acting up. Let me see if I can try to. Oh,